Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review and the end of the Eddie Murphy marathon. It's funny, I started this marathon off really happy and really hyped because Eddie Murphy, I enjoy Eddie Murphy. I think he's a gifted comedian. I think he could be a really good actor. He just haven't had the most chances to display that. And love 48 Hours. Love Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2. The Golden Child is my all-time favorite Eddie Murphy film. I love The Golden Child to death. I think he's made underrated films. The Distinguished Gentleman, Metro. But man, lately he's just been rants. Because I'm talking about The Haunted Mansion, or Imagine That, or Meet Dave, or 1,000 Words. And then it was like 5 years until he made another film, and it was Mr. Church. I think it was 5 years, might have been longer, but I think it was 5 years, because maybe 4 years. It was a couple years. Maybe it wasn't 5 years. But then it's this movie. And this movie is just... I didn't hate it with a rage, so I guess this would be a mild rant. So, it begins with a bang with 48 Hours and ends in a whimper. Mr. Church. Rather be eating Church's chicken than watching this fucking film. Eddie Murphy's not the problem. He's very subdued, he's very quiet, but he's not bad. The story, I guess, is based on a true friendship. I think someone wrote a book about it. And it's about this little girl who's with her mom. I recognize the mom. She's the lady who is in love with Truman in The Truman Show. Like his real true love. She was also in the Robert De Niro film Ronin. Both much better films than this. I liked her as an actress. She does fine as the mom here, and she has a little girl. Didn't really care about the little girl. There's a lot of fucking narration, which got tiresome here in this fucking narration. And one day they did a cook. Cook is played by Eddie Murphy, named Mr. Church. Apparently this rich guy had an affair with the mom, and to make amends, he sends his cook to this lady because he knows that the lady has 6 months to live because she has cancer. And apparently the deal is, Mr. Church, if you take care of this woman and her kid for the 6 months and cook for her the rest of your life, you will be paid. Salary forever. The little girl, for some fucking reason, doesn't trust Eddie Murphy, even though all he's been is kind, is making the best fucking food possible. The little girl's being a bitch at first, a little brat. But then she warms up because she likes the food. And then the three of them become a little bit of a family. And even though the mom's diagnosis was 6 months by the doctors, she survives for another 6 years. To the point the girl's growing up and she's going to prom. And the thing is, okay, Eddie Murphy's character is a thankless role, really. He's very nice, he's very kind, rarely gets mad. A handful of times, the girl, or when she's older, sees him coming home drunk, mumbling about his father, like he's having a fight with his father, talking out loud. He doesn't want anyone to get in his personal business for some reason. We never really know why, because the movie never tells us. It makes it seem as if there's going to be some big revelation, and it never comes. So you really know nothing about this character other than he probably has some abuse from his dad, at least verbal abuse. And one of the reasons Mr. Church stayed around for all these years was because he had a family. this became his family. He would go out to this place called Jelly, and the girl, when she's grown up, finds out it was a place he went to play piano. That's really all you get to know about Eddie Murphy's character. The girl, she doesn't really do anything as everyone helping her. And what I mean by that is, the movie, before I get into that, it's just trying to be very sentimental to the point it's sugary sweet. So sweet it rots your teeth. Almost like Patch Adams. Although I would put Patch Adams above this, but I like Robin Williams, but that's one of the reasons why I don't really care for Patch Adams. But sentimental is fine. Hell, I like Regarding Henry. Here's the fourth. That's sentimental. You just say sentimentality. But I think it worked. But films like Patch Adams and this, they really try hard. And again, I would put Patch Adams above it because at least there's a bit more to Robin Williams' character. At least a little bit more. But again, I'm not a big fan of that one. Especially the third act. But here, it's like really not much fucking happens. She comes home from prom. A little bit later, her mom dies. She decides to go to college. She comes home one day being pregnant. I don't even think we find out who the father is. If we did, I missed it. Mr. Church, again, never wants her to know about his private stuff. I don't know why. He just, there's a moment where he gets mad because she's snooping, and it's like, well, of course she wants to know more about you. You've known each other for probably a decade by now, at least. Gets pissed, kicks her out, and I'm like, you're an asshole. You're kicking out a pregnant lady because she snooped a little bit of your stuff. He's like, I had one rule. I don't want you to look at my stuff because I want to keep that stuff private. I'm like, are you a mass murderer? Are you a rapist? Are you Bill Cosby? Is this secretly the biography of Bill Cosby? With the poo pops in the puss? But no. And you kicked out a pregnant lady. You're a dick. At least that one moment he was a dick. The rest of the film, he's not a dick. So, of course, she's trying to figure out what to do. Meets with this guy who she knew a long time ago. And this guy had a past where he doesn't drive because long ago he drove it into a house on accident and killed a kid until it haunts him. But then as he's talking with this girl, this dumbass in a skateboard hits the lady. She is hurt, she's pregnant, has to get taken to the hospital, so the guy overrides his fear of driving and drives her to the hospital. And then almost immediately Eddie Murphy comes in. She stays with me. She's with me. I'm gonna take her home. And the whole bit from her getting kicked out to her being in home again is like 5 minutes. So it's like, whatever. And then it cuts like 5 years later. The girl's been given birth, and it's a little girl, and the three of them are a family. And Eddie Murphy's sick. He has like an enlarged heart or something. And so she starts taking care of him and meets this doctor. This doctor was a kid she went out to prom with. And then they start hooking up. And then Eddie Murphy fucking dies. And then there's a wake. The guy from Jellies or whatever comes by, and he tells her, oh yeah, he would come in and play piano. Then goes somewhere, finds a letter saying, pretty much the movie telling you it doesn't matter who he is. It matters that, hey, I had a father who was a little bit abusive, but you guys maybe think you did nothing for me, but you did because you gave me a family, you guys. And so she starts writing a book, Mr. Church. That's the movie. But if you say it's deep, good on you, but to me it's as deep as a fucking pamphlet or a Hallmark card. It's about as deep as it is. And that's the thing, the movie just feels like empty, hollow, sentimental, sugary, sweet, rotten teeth, boredom. I'm just going through all the things running in my head with this hour and 40-some minute movie. And it's inoffensive, I guess. Maybe that's what, it's a mild rant, but it's like Eddie Murphy, he's not bad. It's worth a look to see his performance. Not a bad performance, but not like an Oscar worthy or anything. Which I don't think this film got any awards or anything. Didn't deserve it. But it's a shrug movie. Meaning you watch and go, yes, I'll never see this film again. I have no reason to. Just really nothing much happens. Really what this is the equivalent of a Lifetime channel or a Hallmark movie. Both channels I don't really watch, but back in the day in school, got cable, and I would just vegetate at the TV and go through every fucking channel, including Hallmark and Lifetime, and that's what this movie seems like, a Hallmark movie, a Lifetime channel movie. Maybe a little bit better made. Just from the director of Driving Miss Daisy. Yes, the director of Driving Miss Daisy did this film. Driving Miss Daisy, I haven't seen forever. I don't remember it being a bad movie. I mean, I know it won Oscars and shit, but just because a film wins Oscars doesn't mean it's a good movie. Oh, it doesn't? Not really. Do you like every film that's won an Oscar? I bet not. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Driving Miss Daisy, I remember not minding. But this, eh. Really, I found it forgettable, slow, boring, and just not for me. Not for me. I just staring off into the distance over here. That's kind of what I did throughout the film. Like, okay. People are like, oh, you expected a comedy, you expected an action movie. No, I know what it is. I'm fine with Eddie Murphy doing a drama, but this is a pretty mediocre drama film. It's just a whole heaping of nothing. The music trying to be sentimental, the dialogue, some of the dialogue is cringeworthy. Well, a lot of the dialogue is cringeworthy. We get to a point where after the mom dies, the kid sees Mr. Church crying, and there's a narration that literally goes, even his weeping is graceful. Even his weeping is graceful? Okay. Fucking whatever. And then fucking Eddie Murphy has to die at the end. Like, the idea is, this is based on a true friendship, so if that happened in real life, it's kind of hard to change that. But it's just like, it's fucking whatever. Just glad the movie's over. That's really all I got, Mr. Church. But thanks for watching this ending to the Eddie Murphy marathon. I'm not going to be doing any marathons anytime soon. It'll just be random videos. So, we'll see what happens next. Stay tuned, and we will see you guys in the next one. Later.